What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Today we have some 2014 Air Jordan 11 Legend Blues that are looking real dirty and they need a nice freshening up. So I'm going to give you my process and my steps on how I like to clean these shoes, and hopefully you can take these tips and advice with you to clean your own shoes. We're going to start by attacking the uppers. We're going to clean that mesh that holds the laces. We're going to clean the tongue. We're going to get some lint out of the inside. And we're also going to clean these dirty yellowish green soles, give them a nice sole icing and de-yellowing, and get them back to a nice blue, which you'll see at the end. Let's start by removing the shoelaces. And to clean them, literally just throw them in the washing machine with your wet clothes and some bleach, and they'll be good to go. Take them out and let them air dry. Now I'm just going to take this lint remover and I'm going to get all on the inside of the walls of the sock liner inside the shoe and remove as much lint as I can. Now that I finished removing the lint from the sock liner, right here I'm just using the tip of an X-Acto knife to scrape anything off the bottom of the shoe and remove any little rocks or any gunk that's stuck in between the grooves of the shoe. We want to do this before we actually clean the bottom of the shoe, so that when we are cleaning the bottom, we're not missing any part of the sole that would actually be underneath anything that's stuck to the bottom of the shoe or any of those little rocks. We're making sure we're getting the whole surface area of the bottom of the sole before we go into anything like sole icing. Now let's put our shoe tree in and start getting prepared for the actual cleaning of the shoe with our solution. Before we actually start scrubbing the upper with our solution, I'm going to take a dry brush and just brush the upper and brush the sole of the shoe to remove any dirt or dust that's just sitting on top of the shoe and not actually embedded in the material. The solution I'm using to clean the uppers is Dr. Bronner's unscented liquid soap. It's a concentrated solution, so all you need to do is add a couple of squirts to a little bowl of water, mix it up, and now your solution is ready to be used. I'm going to start with a medium bristle brush on the uppers and just scrub as much as I can to get as much of the dirt and stains off on this first pass of cleaning the uppers. Now that we've finished our first pass of scrubbing the uppers, we're going to grab our microfiber towel and just wipe off any of that excess soap and dirt that was sitting on top of the shoe from us scrubbing. I like to clean the shoe in sections, so after I wipe it down, I'm going to grab my stiff bristle brush, and on this side of the shoe I'm going to attack the midsole and the outsole with the stiff bristle brush. Once I finish there, I'll move on to other sections of the shoe like the front, the other side, and the back. This little step here is something I like to call precision cleaning. Basically, I'm just attacking a tiny little mark that I noticed on the shoe that the brush has missed while scrubbing. Sometimes that will happen because the bristles only cover such a broad area. So I'll just scrub the little area with the cloth and the solution on it and see if I can get it out by hand directly on that little mark rather than using the brush. Those are the general steps you'll need to clean the uppers of the shoe. As you can see here, I'm moving on to the front of the shoe and the tongue. From there, I'll move on to the other side and the back, and I'll repeat these same steps until I go into my more detailed process. One thing I want to point out is don't forget to clean behind those mesh lace holes. I guarantee you if you lift up those mesh lace holes, you will see dirt back there. Dirt does get trapped back there and it does get dirty. So take your time, do some precision cleaning, clean behind those mesh lace holes, and these are the little details that will make your cleaning so much better. For the second pass of cleaning the uppers, I'm going to use New Antidote from New Life Kicks. Now when I use this product, I like to spray it on, let it sit for 30 seconds so it can really seep into the material, and then I'll start scrubbing away the same way we did on the first pass. I like to use New Antidote on the second pass because it's a little bit stronger than Dr. Bronner's and it's very good on the mesh areas like the tongue and the lace holes. It also has a UV activation property to it, so once we're done cleaning, we'll end up throwing it in the ice box for about 24 hours under the UV light to help really pull out some of those stains and dirt that are sitting in the material, stuck in the mesh and the white leather, and really brighten all that color up. After completing the second pass on the uppers with the New Antidote and the medium bristle brush, I'm going to continue with the New Antidote, spray it right onto the Phylon midsole of the Jordan 11, and I'm going to scrub it off with a simple magic eraser here. This combination works really well on these Phylon midsoles like the Jordan 11 has. It'll really help get any tough stains and dirt that are stuck in there. You can also use it on the sole for tough stains and dirt that are stuck on the sole, and it works extremely well. The next process here that I'm going to show you is a very tedious process that I like to use to clean the mesh on the lace holes and the mesh on the tongue. What you're going to do is grab yourself 3 little cups. In 1 cup, you're going to put some water and some laundry detergent, and if you have any OxiClean powder laying around, you can put some of that in there too. In another cup, just put plain water, and then in the last cup, you're going to put a mixture of water and RIT whitener and brightener. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take the toothbrush, you can use a medium or soft bristle toothbrush, and you're going to first use the laundry detergent mixer with the OxiClean and water, scrub all the mesh. Once you finish that, you can then wipe it off, and what you'll do is you'll take the toothbrush, dip it in the strict water mixture, and you're going to scrub the same areas. This will help mix in that OxiClean detergent, that laundry detergent, in with the water, because as you know, when you put that in a washing machine, there's water in there. You can wipe it off once you're done with that. Next, you're going to do the same thing, but you're going to do it with the RIT whitener and brightener with the water mixture. Same thing, scrub all the mesh area. Then once you're done, you can scrub it all again with just the water or just rinse it all off, and that's the whole process. Repeat this same process on both sides of the shoe and on the tongue. I like to do one step at a time, so I'll do the laundry detergent mixture first on both sides of the shoe and the tongue. Then I'll switch to the next step, which is the water. I'll do both sides of the shoe and the tongue, and then finally I'll switch to the RIT whitener and brightener with the water, do both sides of the shoe to the tongue. This way it gives each solution a little bit of time to sit in the material before I go on to scrubbing it again with the next solution and mixture. As you can see, that mesh is really brightening up. So one more step I like to do is I'll go back to the New Antidote, spray it on the mesh, let it sit for 30 seconds, and I'm gonna use this nylon scrub pad to scrub all the mesh. It works really well on mesh material and getting those stubborn stains out. Finally, we're moving on to the outsoles. So I'm gonna go back to the Dr. Bronner's. I'm gonna grab my stiff bristle brush, and I'm gonna just scrub all around the outsole and get as much dirt off as possible. I'll do 2 passes on the outsole. On the second pass, I will move on to the New Antidote, and I'll use it the same way. I'll spray it on the sole, let it sit for 30 seconds to seep into the outsole. And for that, I'm gonna use I call it a medium stiff bristle brush. It kind of cleans the surface area a little better in my opinion, so that's what I'll use to clean the outsole for the second pass. Once I finish those 2 passes on the outsole, I'm going to go in one last time with a Q-tip, and you can dip it right into your solution, or you can dip it into acetone or isopropyl alcohol, and I'm just going to go in between the grooves of the outsole and clean up any little last dirt or grime that's stuck to the bottom that I couldn't get with the X-Acto knife, that I couldn't get with the stiff bristle brush or the medium stiff bristle brush. This is really going to help clean the surface for when we go to ice the soles. And then I'll just dry it right here with my air compressor just to get a nice dry surface. Once the outsole is dry, I'm going to stick the shoes under the UV light for 24 hours to let the new antidote UV activation properties kick in and brighten up the mesh and brighten up the leather and all the white on the shoe. Once the shoes have spent 24 hours under the light, it's now time to unyellow those soles. Here I'm using ice cream sole sauce by what used to be Raleigh Restorations. They now go by RR by the Cobblers. All you need to do is pour some in a little cup, get a paintbrush, apply a light even coat all around the outsole. No need to put it on the traction pads though. Just put it on all the parts that you want to unyellow because we don't want to lose any traction on the bottom of the sole. Again, a nice light even coat. Don't dump it on because we need the UV light to penetrate through the sauce and through the sole in order to unyellow it. Now I know some of you may have seen some videos out there of people taping up the traction pads and taping up the carbon fiber and taping up the midsoles to apply sole sauce on the 11s. You honestly don't need to, but if you want to, feel free to do that. Just keep in mind that you may need to have some Goo Gone or acetone on hand because taking off that tape after sitting under the heat from the UV light, it may cause some sticky residue once you go to take it off. Once we've finished applying our light coat of the sole sauce, it's time to wrap the shoe up in saran wrap. I like to use 2 pieces when I do this. I'll do one the horizontal way, and I'll go halfway up from the bottom of the shoe towards the top, wrap it around. Then I'll grab another piece of saran wrap and I will go the vertical direction from the top of the shoe, going down towards the bottom and overlap that area where the 2 meet and wrap it all around right there. The reason I wrap the shoe like this is because where the arch support is for the shoe, many times if you do just one whole piece with a fan going inside the icebox for the UV light, it can cause a little air bubble there in that arch area, and that will really dry the sauce out fast, and we want to keep it moist for as long as possible because that's how we get the best results. I like to use a couple pieces of tape just to tape the saran wrap to the sock liner of the shoe. This is to help keep the saran wrap tight around the shoe, which will help keep the sole sauce moist, which is what we want for the best results. Once you do that, you can stick the shoes under the UV light for 24-hour sessions. I always do a minimum of 3 sessions, and I won't do more than 5 just to keep the soles healthy and not lose traction. The results you're seeing here are the results from one 24-hour session. After each session, you need to remove the tape, remove the saran wrap, get your Dr. Bronner's solution with water, and just clean the sole, clean all that sole sauce off. You need to get a nice, new, clean, dry sole, and you'll repeat that process of applying the light coat of sole sauce and wrapping it back up in saran wrap and putting it back under the light. What you're seeing here is the results of all the cleaning and the sole icing. I did 3 24-hour sessions and these came out beautiful. You can really see how much brighter the leather and the mesh got on these shoes, and also how much more blue tint we have compared to when we first got the shoe on the outsole, which was a greenish yellow. Next, I'm going to take some mink oil I have from Angelus Direct. I'm going to spray it on a microfiber cloth, a good amount to soak it in there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to rub it all over the patent leather. This will help remove some of those scratches that you see on the surface that you can't really get with a brush, and just scratches from brushing it. And it'll also help bring a little bit of shine back to the patent leather. To finish off this cleaning, we're going to put the laces back in the shoe, and we're going to spray 2 coats of water and stain repellent onto the shoe with 30 minutes in between each coat. And that'll be the end of this cleaning. You should have a nice clean shoe once you do all these steps. If you enjoyed this video and you enjoyed all the tips and advice I've given, please feel free to leave me a comment and let me know. Hit the thumbs up button, give me a like and subscribe, and feel free to give me any tips that you might have in cleaning these shoes, or any tips on the video, any way you would like me to change it, or anything you would like me to add, anything you would like me to explain more, what you liked about the video and what you didn't like. I really appreciate the feedback. Again, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something, and I hope you can take this with you in cleaning your old shoes. Thank you.